You're listening to That Home Loan Hub. I'm Zibuni Salimova, here to make home loans and property investing simple, smart, and stress-free. Let's get you closer to your property dreams. Now, if you listened to the previous episode on how do we get paid, you might be wondering, well, if all the mortgage advisors relatively get paid the same, commissioned by the bank, what would make a certain advisor better or worse than the other advisor? What makes mortgage advisor good? So I've got James in the house. Hello, James.
Hello.
What will make a mortgage advisor a good advisor?
Well, I think we need to be getting back to people and keep them in communication and letting them know what the hell's going on. Like, for example, if somebody gets in touch with one of us, we're not going to sit on that email for 2 or 3 days. We're going to get back to them straight away and say, look, this is what we're going to do. We'll be setting up an appointment as quick as we can. So, I think we've won a bit of business because people they don't want to sit back and wait, right? If somebody's contacted you for a service and they don't get anything back, then...
I think you're relating this to the phone call I just had, aren't you? Yeah, so we just had a really interesting one in the car as we were driving in. A client rang to say, I was catching up with a friend for coffee and I was mentioning to my friend that I'm looking to buy an investment property, and my friend kept saying that I need to contact you because I just contacted another mortgage advisor a week ago. I still haven't even set up a time with that mortgage advisor. Versus with me on the phone, we set up a time, I'm going to see them, we're going to sort it out. And the appointment was even after hours while the kids are in bed and stuff for them. So I think this is an absolute key in our industry, is communication is the key. And if we are not responding as fast as we can, then we shouldn't really be in this industry. That's my firm belief.
I do remember one of the things that you said to us very early on, which is somebody said it to us, I'm pretty sure it was every 2 or 3 days, if you're working with a client, you need to be in contact, updating, and so that's, I very much do that. And you do feel a bit guilty if you've got nothing new to report, because we do have to wait a little bit once your application is with lenders. So sometimes you're just going back to them with,
No news.
We're waiting.
Yeah, that was me.
And a follow-up,
You trained
sounds like
well.
something you would say.
You're trained well, James. But it is correct. Like, often I would say to clients, even if I don't have news, I'll be saying, hey guys, just popping in to say hello and that I have no news for you. Yeah. But at least I'm here for you, and they know that they're not forgotten. Because for us, it could be a client out of 50, right? But for them, we are the only advisor they're working with. So we are constantly on the top of their mind. And we want to make sure they know that they're also on top of our minds. And by keeping in touch with them every couple of days after the application has been submitted, allows us to stay in that space with them, that they know they are important and they do matter.
Yeah, and it's because it's a stressful process, right? If you think, even when we buy houses ourselves, it's still, even though we are in that industry and we're advising other people, you do forget what a stressful process it is buying your first home.
Awesome. So, communication. Yep. What else would make mortgage advisor good, or what would make a mortgage advisor bad?
Well, I would say, I'm trying not to think of anything bad that I've done.
Let's think about other people.
Yeah.
Well, recently we had one where, for instance, a mortgage advisor, again, a client came to us after leaving the other advisor, and what the other advisor did, nothing really too bad necessarily, but what that advisor did is they only applied for one lender because they thought at that time that was the best option for a client. The client, unfortunately, left that mortgage advisor, came to us. We applied to several banks and we had several different outcomes.
Yeah.
And we managed to score the best terms for them and the best rates for them by going through that exercise. So I would suggest that sometimes we do have to apply to different places, although we don't want to, because upfront we should know all the policies and we should know all the cashbacks and rates. But often you cannot predict which bank has appetite for new clients, which bank doesn't have appetite for new clients.
Yeah, and it's changing all the time, right? That's just a natural part of our process now. Every time we submit an application, it's 3 or 4 lenders that it's going to. Once you've done it for one, it's not that much harder to do it to the others. And I think that's the main pro about going with somebody like us, because we're going to give you lots of options and you get to choose the best deal. And I'm dealing with somebody right now, and they've got 2 options on the table, one that they went direct with KiwiBank, and then another that we're working with them. Our offer's probably going to be better, but it's going to be up to the client to decide which one they want to go with.
Yeah.
But, it's all about giving the client options. What's the best deal for them? It's not necessarily about interest rate. It could be getting 25-year loan term instead of a 30-year loan term. That's helped us a little bit recently.
Yeah.
A couple of older clients.
Exactly. So what else, as a parting thought, what else could identify a good mortgage advisor versus not so
Well,
good?
I really like doing the background stuff. Like you're looking at a scenario of the applicant or the clients, and you're actually making an effort to see what are the options for them, rather than just assuming that this is what the best option is. So you're getting to know them quite well throughout the process, so that actually by the time you get to the point of doing the loan structure, you pretty much already know, what's going to work for them. You still go through that process, but just taking the time with every single client is quite informative.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be another thing. And being factual, actually know what being really careful about how, I know we're saying that you got to be in communication every couple of days, but what you're saying is really important.
Mm-hmm.
It's very easy for information to get misconstrued.
Yeah.
You've got to really reread your emails and how your messaging is.
So how would someone know? Let's say they're a first-home buyer, they've never used a mortgage advisor. How would they know the difference between Bob and Sam?
This is a very good question. Gosh.
What would be the first sort of feel to go, I'll go with Bob, I'll go with Sam?
What about James?
I'm keeping it like us out of the, otherwise I'll be very...
I'm just stalling for time.
In my mind, it would be Google searches.
Yeah.
It's quite good.
Right.
So you would probably want to...
I'm too old for Google searches.
You would probably want to do a Google search. That would be my
Google
first
reviews.
goal. Yeah, Google reviews. A lot of clients I have coming through at the moment are from the Kiwi First Home Buyers page or, one of those Facebook pages where people ask for recommendations on, hey, can you tell me who is a good mortgage advisor? And then you'll get like 120 different comments where it's, sometimes I feel like it's a bit of popularity contest.
Yeah.
But I would say Google search, because if the company is well established, like for instance, my company has been around over 7 years, so I've got Google footprint out there, and people should be able to see the reviews, read for themselves from other real people. The other thing I would say probably, again, is word of mouth, really. Yeah. Ask your friends, ask who had a good experience or bad experience.
Yep. Well, you got to be able to back up your brand, right? So you might be out there, you might have a really good, everybody knows you, but you've also got to have that effectiveness that you've done a really good job. So it's got to be positive brand awareness. And I think you've got that. I walk around town with you and everybody knows who you are. Nobody's running, ducking for cover or anything.
That's a wrong town. Let's go back home and then you'll see completely different.
Well, it's a bit like when I'm walking around with my brother around Palmerston. He's
Everybody
really well known.
Yeah.
And everybody's saying "G'day, Andrew" and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, wow. I mean, nobody knows me when I'm walking around town.
It's all about time. Soon they will.
Yeah.
Soon they will. Especially with their hair, James.
Well, I'm working on it. I'm getting a lot of good compliments lately about my hair.
And that's another thing as well. How can you tell the difference between a good mortgage advisor and a bad? Is sometimes appearances. If we are looking after ourselves, if we are presentable, you probably want to deal with someone that's presentable. I'm not talking about flash cars. I'm not talking about expensive jewelry. I'm talking about your own personal appearances.
Yeah.
Because you do want to deal with people. You do judge. I love that.
Did I say that out loud?
Yes, you did. But we are, as humans, we do tend to take first impressions. Yeah. And that's what I often hear as well, is that the first impressions do matter. How do you come across to people?
You've got to get the right balance. So
not to be pretentious.
Yeah, like you could all dress up in the flash suit with the tie on and things like that. But is that really going to get the right message across to the people that are buying the first home? They want to be able to relate to you. And I think from what I can understand from first home buyers, they don't like people rocking up to their house looking like that and being pretentious and the big I am, right?
Exactly.
So that's why it's great for me. I just drive around in my Hyundai.
We get the
Not
message.
Pretentious at all.
We get the message. Awesome, James. Thank you so much. It was awesome to have you to share your thoughts on this one. And for those that are listening, if you've got any topics for us that you'd like to cover, Please let us know by messaging us, leaving us a comment, and sharing the love of spreading this podcast, because we already have thousands of downloads and we would not be able to be here without you listening to us. So thank you very much. And until next time. And that's a wrap on That Home Loan Hub. Don't forget to hit subscribe and join me next time for more property tips and tricks. Your next smart move starts here.